Working on a 2005 Ford F-150, and I'm going to be replacing the driver rear window regulator and motor. So really quick here, I'll show you what it's doing. So I can hear the motor working inside. You can see I can just pull up and down on this window. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this panel right here. And this should just pull off of here. May have to take like a trim tool here, pry on that. You can see that just pulls off with these clips here. Next, go ahead and take your little flathead screwdriver. You can see this little notch here above the door handle. Go ahead and pry that open. Next, we'll go ahead and remove this panel here where the power window's at. So take that trim tool here, get up under here. You can kind of just pry up. You can see your window connector there. So you push right here on this blue tab. That slides right out. Next, grab an 8mm and let's remove these two screws there. Then grab you a 10mm and let's remove that screw down in there. Then grab a 6mm and let's remove that screw there. Then come down to the bottom portion of the door panel and we got two 6mm screws there. So go ahead and remove those. Let's go ahead and remove the door panel. So this should just lift up and then kind of pull out. So just got to kind of grab it here, lift up, pull out here, and then we need to disconnect our door handle. So to get that door handle off, what you want to do is come in the inside here, open your handle like that, take you a flathead, and then get behind this white part right here, and then just go ahead and pry. Once that pops out of there, you can go ahead and remove it right here, and then go ahead and pull your door panel off. So next we need to remove this barrier, but I think we'll have to remove the speaker first because it's kind of tucked behind here. So let's go ahead and remove the speaker. So grab a 7/32 and we got 4 screws we need to take out. Once you get those 4 screws out, you got a connector here for your speaker. So if you just squeeze with your finger here, and that pulls right off there. So there's that tab right there. Next, grab you a little trim tool like this, and let's take this tab off right here for our speaker wire. It's just one of them Christmas tree style clips. So get back behind it, and just try and pop that out of there, like that. So now we should be able to remove our barrier. This is kind of stuck to the door. This one's kind of old and you can see how dust has covered it. So it's not really sticky much anymore. But let's go ahead and slowly pull this back without ripping it. Slowly work its way off of here. So just kind of like that. Next, I'll go ahead and bring my window down some here, because we need to loosen up this bolt here, same with that one there, to remove the glass from the regulator. So grab a 10mm and let's go ahead and loosen those up. And really all you got to do is just loosen it up. You don't have to remove the whole thing. And you can see how our glass is dropping out of there now. So let me just let this slide down here. Next, go ahead and grab you some tape. I'll just be using some electrical tape here. But grab your window. We'll go ahead and bring it up. Get it kind of in place there. Grab you some tape here. Go from the outside. And then come back around. Just to hold that window up. I'll do another one just to be safe on this side here. And that'll keep our window in place. Next, we need to disconnect the window motor. So go ahead and unplug this connector here. Take your thumb, push up, and then pull out. Next, grab a 10 millimeter. Let's remove the bolt here holding our motor. So now we'll remove the regulator. And you got 4 10 millimeter bolts here that we need to just loosen. And then we should be able to lift up on this and pull it out that way. So let's do that. So with those loose, you should be able to come in here and lift it up and then go out with it. Drop it down in there. Same with this one. Drop that down in there. And then you should be able to bring it over here. Just watch your wires. Just kind of work its way out of here. And looks like we're getting caught on this. So we need to disconnect that. Should be able to just pull that out back from behind like that. Your wires here. Just remove it like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our old one and our new one here. I got this one off of Amazon. I went with the Dorman 741968. So when you guys are buying the regulator motor, you want to make sure you buy the correct ones because they got a bunch of different ones out there. Depending on if you have a single cab, extended cab, or 4-door crude cab. Just depends what you got, so make sure you get the right one. And looks like everything lines up here compared to the old one and the new one. You know, all of our screws and everything. And then I'll show you here on the old one. So if I flip this over, you can see our cables just all tangled up and everything. So it's probably why it wasn't going up and down. And like I said, the motor, I could hear working, it just wasn't going up and down. So let's go ahead and stick this new one up in the truck. Then grab your new regulator. And I went ahead and kind of loosened these screws here just so they fit into place there. So let's go ahead and stick this end in first. Then I'll do this side. In there. I'll go ahead and stick this side in first. Get that lined up. You may need to loosen these a little more. Do this side. that. Next, go ahead and plug in your motor here. And you can see it's a little bit different than the other one. The other one kind of plugged up in here like that, but this one still just plugs in right here. Next, go ahead and locate this little clip here, and we'll go ahead and stick this in the hole here, like that. Grab your 10mm bolt for your motor here. Get that screwed in. And tighten that up. Next, we'll go ahead and tighten up all of our regulator bolts here. Just make sure those are properly seated down in there. Okay, so next we need to connect our window, but in order to do that, we're gonna have to bring up the regulator. So what I'm gonna do is grab this switch here. I'll go ahead and plug this in. And let me go ahead and turn the key. And then, as you can see, this one here, so I'm having problems with the switch here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the driver front switch here. I'll bring it up a little bit here. So, let me go a little more here. So let's say about right there. So then go ahead and untape your window here. And then let's slowly lower that down into the regulator. Those slots there. You can see it kind of clicks in there. Next, just double check and make sure you can see we are fully seated in there, and the rubber's on both sides of the glass. And then same with this side over here. Double check this one. It's kind of hard to see back in there, but try to get you an angle here. But you can see we're sitting in the rubber there, and then all the way down. So now you can grab your 10mm. Let's go ahead and tighten up both of those on the glass. You don't want to go too tight on these to where you break the glass or anything. So I think about right there, we should be good. So now we'll go ahead and go up and down a few times here, check for any binding, and just make sure it's sitting up. So now let's go ahead and go up and down a few times here. We'll check it out to make sure it's not binding or anything, and then if we need to adjust or not. Again, I'll have to do this from the front switch since I'm having problems with that switch there. As you can see, seems like it's going up and down just fine. Nothing's binding or anything, and doesn't look like we need to adjust. And then if you guys run into a situation where it's kind of binding and you need to adjust it, what you can do is bring it back down to where we had it here, loosen up those two 10mm bolts so the glass is kind of loose in there, and then go ahead and take it up. And then once you get it seated in the tracks up there, what you can grab is a 1/4" 10mm socket like this, and you can see they make this little slot in here so you can adjust it right there. And then same with this side here, so you can go ahead and tighten it there. That way you know it's adjusted correctly because it's sitting up in the tracks there. So now we'll start putting everything back together, but first I'll go ahead and disconnect the switch here, get that out of the way. So now let's get our barrier back in place here. Again, just stick this through here. Get everything kind of lined up here. Kind of stuck back in place here. If you guys need to, you can use some silicone on this to help it stick a little better, but seems like it's doing okay here. Next, go ahead and connect your switch clip here. Push that in. And then go ahead and grab your speaker. And let's go ahead and plug that in here. Get that set in. Then grab your 7/32 screws in here. Let's go ahead and screw those in and tighten that up. Next, go ahead and grab your door panel, and we'll get these three little clips here down into those three holes there. And that'll kind of hold it up there. Just to kind of set it there. So now we'll go ahead and get our door handle back in place here. So I'll pry this a little bit here. And let's go ahead and stick this part down in here. Bring it along through there. And then go ahead and snap that back into place like that. So now our door handle will operate. And now we'll go ahead and lift it back into place. And you can see you got that little tab there. And if you come along the other side here, you got another one down on that side as well. And then of course we need to get it up over this door lock. So go ahead and get that in place. And it should just sit down on there like that, and then just make sure you're down here in all three of those tabs on the bottom, and it looks like we're good. Same with the side, you can pull just to make sure they're seated. Then grab your two 6mm bolts that are going to go on the bottom panel here. Same with your one right here. And then you can take your trim piece here, these snap clips, get that in place. Once you're in place, just go ahead and smack it. And then grab your 10mm bolt that goes in right here. Go ahead and tighten that up. Then grab your two 8mm, go right above your handle. And grab your little cover here. Got them two notches it goes down into. Then go ahead and grab your switch. Plug that back in. Go ahead and these three tabs go in there. Bring it down. Snap it in place. Now let's just go ahead and try it out one more time here. Go ahead and bring it down. And back up. And that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up that window a little bit, get all them fingerprints off, and that's gonna do it for the video. Again, this was a 2005 Ford F-150. Went ahead and replaced the driver rear window regulator and motor. Hopefully this video helps you out. Pretty simple job to do. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, check out all my other videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.